Hello and welcome to another episode of Deck Musings. So we are up to the release of Legions on our standard timeline. So standard is slowly getting bigger, and the deck I'm going to talk about today is an Astral Slide deck. We'll see how that all hangs together. So this period of standard ran from March the 1st to June the 30th of 2003. You've got 7th edition. You've got all of Odyssey block and then the first two sets of the Onslaught block, with Legion being the second smaller set. You can see there's a number of nationals going on in this time period. First ever Magic the Gathering Online World Championship qualifier in April, and a number of decks kicking around in standard tournament play, of which some we have looked at already. You can see Squirrel Opposition is still about. There's also an oversold Cemetery deck here as well. So here we are. This is what we're going to be talking about. The deck is from this tournament, which was a block constructed tournament with just Onslaught and Legions. And yeah, it'll be, I think, the winning deck actually. Astral Slide not only revolves around the card Astral Slide, but the cycling mechanic as well. There's sort of important interactions. Here's the top 8, so you can see Astral Slide 1, we've got a number of Goblin decks, green, white vegetation, the claw and 3-colour vegetation. So I suspect these duplications will be sort of variations on a theme. Yeah, we'll see what happens when we get to the third set, and at that point I might cover a Goblin deck maybe, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, so we're definitely looking at Astral Slide. Here's the deck ready to go in Architect. So what I'll do is I'll walk through. It'll probably become apparent as I walk through how this deck hangs together, but at the end of it I'll just go back through and sort of explain the interactions alongside whatever I explained as I go along. So we've got 10 creatures in here. You can see a few 2-ofs, there's a 4-of, there's some extra copies of creatures in the sideboard, which we'll also get onto. So we've got 2 Gempalm Incinerators, so 2 and a red, it's 2/1, has cycling, 1 and a red. So with cycling, you pay the cycling cost, you discard the card from your hand, so it has to be in your hand to cycle it, and then you get to draw a card. And some of them, not all of them, may well have something that triggers when you cycle it. So this one, when you cycle Gempalm Incinerator, you may have it deal X damage to target creature, where X is the number of goblins in play. And you've got 2 Daru Sanctifiers, so 3 and a white. You can see these are quite high up on the mana curve. First creature is a 3-drop, next one's a 4-drop. This has morph on it, so for 1 and a white you can actually play it face down as a 2/2 creature. Sorry, I said that completely wrong. Sorry, for 3 of any colour you can play it you can play it face down as a 2/2 creature. At any point you can turn it face up for its morph cost, which is 1 and a white. Additionally, you can just cast it for 3 and a white. So cast it regular for 3 and a white, cast it for 3 mana of any colour, face down, and it's a 2/2, and then at any point you can choose to morph it for 1 and a white. When it is turned face up, you get to destroy a target enchantment. And when it is face up, it's a 1/4. Exalted Angel, 4 and 2 white for a 4/5 flyer. And when it deals damage, you gain life, based on how much damage it's dealt. It also has a morph cost, so on this one, again, 3 of any colour as a 2/2 face down. To morph it, it's 2 and 2 white. There's 4 copies of that. Then we have, at our top end in terms of our creatures, we've got, what's this, a 6-drop, yeah, 6-drop. Jareth, Leonine, Titan, there's 2 of those. It's a 4/7, and whenever it blocks, it gets +7/+7 until end of turn. Also, for a single white, you can give it protection from the colour of your choice until end of turn. We have 8 enchantments in the deck, 4 lightning rifts, so 1 and a red. Whenever a player cycles a card, you may pay 1. If you do, lightning rift deals 2 damage to target creature or player. And then the key card in the deck, Astral Slide, so 2 and a white. It's 4 of those. And whenever a player cycles a card, so it's whenever any player cycles a card, you may remove a target creature from the game. And of course that can be any creature, any side of the board. If you do, return that creature to play under its owner's control at end of turn. 11 instants, so 4 Starstorms, X and 2 red. It deals X damage to each creature, so there's a number of cards in Magic's history that are X red damage spells. With this one, it also has cycling on it, cycling for 3, so you can choose to discard it from your hand and then draw a card. And of course that's going to interact with any cards which have options to do things when other cards cycle. We've got 4 Akroma's Blessings, so 2 and a white. Creatures you control gain protection from the colour of your choice until end of turn. That has cycling for a single white. And then Renewed Faith, 2 and a white. You gain 6 life. So you can see there's a couple of... where's the other one here? Was there another light? I'm just trying to think how many of these... Oh, there we go. It's up this one, yeah. Exalted Angel. So, yeah, this sort of don't die strategy. By you just putting yourself out of reach. So 2 and a white, you gain 6 life. It has cycling 1 and a white. And on this one as well, when you cycle it, you may gain 2 life. Land side of things, we've got 4 each of the appropriate coloured cycling lands. We've got the red one, which is Forgotten Cave. So it comes into play tapped. You can tap it for red mana, but you can cycle it for a single red. So discard it, draw a card. Secluded Steppe is the white version. And then there's 9 mountains and 10 plains. So there's actually 27 lands in the deck. And then we've got 4 sorceries. So we've got 4 Akroma's Blessings, 4, 2 white, destroy all artifact creatures and enchantments. Also has cycling on it. In the sideboard, so here we've got sideboard to deal with particular matchups. So we have 3 Demystifies, destroy target enchantment for a single white. We have 3 Disciples of Grace, so 1 and a white, so 1/2 has protection from black. It's got cycling 2 on it. Gempalm Incinerator, so there's another 2 of these in the sideboard, in addition to 2 in the deck. We've got Oblation, so 2 and a white. The owner of target non-land permanent shuffles it into his or her library, then draws 2 cards. Interesting way of dealing with something. And you're dealing with a permanent, so it's acting on a permanent as opposed to any spell. Avarax, 3 and 2 red, so 3/3 with haste. When it comes into play, you may search your library for a card named Avarax, reveal it, and put it into your hand. If you do, shuffle your library. 1 and a red, Avarax gets +1/+0 until end of turn. And then we've got 2 Akroma's Angel of Wrath, 5 and 3 white, has protection from flies. I'll start again. Flying, first strike, trample, haste, protection from black, protection from red, and attacking does not cause Akroma, Angel of Wrath, to tap, which went on to be keyworded to Vigilance. So interesting deck. As I've said, the key card, and it's dead giveaway, it's in the name of the deck, is Astral Slide. So it lets you exile a creature whenever you cycle a card, and that can be used to remove your opponent's threats, protect your own creatures from removal, or trigger into the battlefield effects. But also bear in mind, it's whenever a player cycles a card. So any player. So if you've got your opponents cycling cards, then yeah, you can benefit from that. And it's a May ability as well on there. So you can sort of see here how this ability to trigger removal from a cycle card, where the cycling can be done in response to something, can be used with a number of different creatures for different effects, for different reasons. And of course you can use it to exile your opponent's creatures at key points. So the key point is to be strategic with your exiling, I suppose. And then you can see as well, we've got Lightning Rift kicking around as well. So that's going to be responding to, again, whenever a player cycles a card, you have to pay 1 mana of any colour to benefit from this. But again, it's just sort of sitting there waiting for some cycling shenanigans to go down. So yeah, use it to finish off an opponent, clear their board of small creatures. And I think that's really all I need to say, because once you sort of, just read that card and then look at the cyclers, look at, I don't know if there are any here specifically with an enter the battlefield trigger that you can also leverage. I don't know if there's anything in the sideboard. Oh, there we go. So you can imagine like using it to sort of bounce Avarax if you sideboard that in. It's always interesting as well, isn't it, to look at the sideboard to see what the deck builder sort of predicted that might be, what might be the matchups at that time. So we've got ways of dealing with enchantments, protection for black, stuff to increase our Gempalm Incinerator count, stuff of just generally dealing with any non-land permanent. It's interesting as well that you've got this pump ability on the Avarax, and then this Akroma, as well. But you can see in its, non-sideboarded form, we've got a pretty low creature count. So I suppose, you have this, obviously a control element to it with sweepers and removal, and then finally following up with big creatures. And then also you've got cards generally that affect tempo. So stuff that just messes with your opponent. Those sort of things, sort of slows them down in different ways. Okay, let's go through and see some cards that I think about or inspire me to look at when we consider this deck, and go down various rabbit holes in Scryfall. But first things first, let us once again admire the artwork, the basic land artwork from the main set here, which is from Onslaught. Look at that lovely artwork. We've got plains and mountains in here. And next week, I'll have a Scourge deck, which is actually a mono red deck. So we get to look at some mountain artwork real close up. Okay, Cyclers. Yeah, you can see very popular in Commander in terms of turning up in the yearly Commander product at various points. Let's have a look and just see from when it was first printed. So here we go. You can see turned up in a World Championship deck. And then we've got, that's a dual deck, isn't it? The very first one, I think, Divine versus Demonic. Was that the first one, or was it Goblin versus Elves? I'm never sure. Without looking up, Arch Enemy, and then the first Commander product. And no doubt if you've been watching my series where I've been revisiting Commander artwork, you've probably seen this crop up quite a few times. Alright, let's have a look. Get a feel for cycling lands that are part of a cycle. And you can see here these have all been reprinted a good few times. Most recent versions, Commander 2021. But if we go into, you can see that. Let's just show you. So yeah, turns up a lot in Commander. We already looked at the white one. Some different artwork as well. So a cycle of cyclers. Also, I mean, just generally, saying here, similar to Drifting Meadow. So those ones, the cycling cost on them was mana of any colour, 2 mana of any colour. On these ones, it's a colour of the same mana. Was it so better than Desert of the True? Okay, so those cycle for 1 and a white. Interesting. Okay, so there was Cycling Deserts. And Drifting Meadow, which yeah, we've seen these before. Let's look at the Drifting Meadow version. All the way back. So those are the ones from Urza Cycle. If we were to look generally, so let's just think about this. So type. There's land, and then somewhere on it has the word cycle. What did I just do there? Whoops. Oh, cycling. That's why. Would it help if I spelt it right? There we go. So 32 lands with cycling on them. Let's get it. So we'll go through these. So we've got the Urza's Saga cycling lands. We've got the Onslaught ones, so from the first set of the block. We've got Ash Barons from Commander 2016. Was that the first? Yeah, that was the first cycling land that generated colourless mana. Then we have these cycles from Amonkhet, which are interesting, and they were also dual lands for allied colours. Then another cycle here from Hour of Devastation. These were the more mono-coloured ones when they messed with the cycling cost. And then we have the Triomes. So these were 3-colour cyclers, and these were actually at rare. So that they would tap for any colour. They do into the they tap for 3 colour combinations, and they cycle for 3 colourless mana. But also, interesting enough, you can see here they have the land type printed, which means if you've got cards that fetch, and they mention fetch a swamp or a forest, then you can fetch for these, because not all non-basics have that necessarily. The Amonkhet ones did. So, in terms of the Triomes, so white, black, green, that would be Wedge, wouldn't it? Because shards are side by side. And we have these, which came from Streets of New Capenia. And those are the shards. So they're the shard ones. So yeah, shard ones from New Capenia, the wedge ones from Ikoria, Lair of Behemoths, which is rather convenient, because we'll be talking about the Commander product from this era actually, or I'll be doing an art flip through later in the week. Cool. Okay, there's Forgotten Caves in red, so same thing but in red. Renewed Faith, life gain. So interesting. We've got cycle in Onslaught, variable amount of cycling, but they all have cycling triggers on them. You can see they've been sort of reprinted. If you want to look at the original, which is always nice to see. There we go. As Crescent Tusker was in here. Right, what else we got? So they were part of a Amonkhet cycle then. Interesting that. I'm just seeing to see what. Okay, so yeah, I don't know how often that happens actually, where they reprint a card as part of a cycle, but then have new cards for the rest of them. Akroma's Blessing only ended up being reprinted online. What can we learn? Okay, namesake spell gives protection, evasion, 8 colour choose, protects creature. So yeah, instant. Let's go down an instant speed evasion rabbit hole, shall we? So a lot of evasion in Magic, no surprising, no surprise there. But let's stick with just things that give things evasion. In terms of instant speed evasion from a combat trick. So 57 of these. Now let me just check, I made a silly error there. Yeah, it is instant, okay. That's because my silly error was, I forgot that. I was trying to work out how I couldn't see it. Right, that's more like it. So of course, jump. Yeah, we're going to see a few of the things like jump and leap, you know, where they give flying until end of turn. Interesting. Across the board. Leap of flame. I like this artwork. What's this? One in a black. Remove target card in a graveyard from the game. Put a 1/1 white and black spirit creature token with flying into play. Okay. So, yeah, I suppose at the right time we got instant speed chump blocking. Okay, that's an interesting way of... Okay. Yeah, there's Leap of Faith. Aerial Maneuver, yeah, it's an instant speed thing with flying. Definitely got a few interesting adventures here as well. Stuff with haste. Yeah, Eyes in the Skies. It's got Populate as well. Okay. Akroma's Vengeance, so mass removal on artifacts, creatures and enchantments, but doesn't mess with land. It's been in Commander a few times. It's in the original Plane Chase. Yeah, so it's got all the sweeper tags in here. fact it's just symmetrical, which like mass removal is. But in terms of, so I don't really want to look at any of those tags because it's stuff we've looked at before. But one thing I think I'll do, let me do CMC. It's a CMC 6 spell, and it's sorcery. And I'll start off with that. So 53 cards that are CMC 6 and have some sort of sorceries, and they have some sort of destruction on them. But let's look at the specifically the destroy all stuff. So 23 cards that act as mass removal, sorcery speed. What I'm going to do is look at the first printing, put them in order. So we see our old friend Jockelhoops there. And then we'll go up and down the curve. So I doubt, well, we'll see. CMC 1. Subterranean Tremors. Yeah, it's an X spell, so that's why. Okay. So, yeah, these are all, yeah, I see quite a few of these are X spells actually. Look at that. Yeah, okay. Okay, so we start to see stuff. So we start to see conditional. Is conditional mass removal an oxymoron? But I think you know what I mean. Like stuff where it destroys more than one creature. It destroys all of something, but it's sort of dialed back a bit. So converted mana costs, certain colours, certain creature types, certain things like enchantments. So clearly destroying all enchantments is a fairly low barrier to entry for that privilege. So we got 4. Oh yeah, Armageddon, Wrath of God, Flashfires, Tsunami. So things that go out after lands or certain types of lands. Certain colours of permanence. Destroying enchantments but with other stuff sellotaped to them. Yeah. Destroying all creatures. So yeah, all the, you can see there's a lot of the classic stuff we've come to know and love in Magic for doing that sort of thing. Okay, so then we move into things like Hellfire. Again, there's a few conditional things here or combinations of things. Yeah. Maybe a few, what do you call it, like loopholes. Yeah. And I suppose as the curve gets higher, there's more things that can destroy. There's bonus stuff that you get back as a result of that. In the case of my favourite, Phyrex and Rebirth. Maybe it's modal, so there's a bit more flexibility there. Maybe it's just a high casting cost. There's an equivalent card. It's just more expensive because for the particular set it was in, you didn't want, you wanted slightly more expensive mass removal. as Obliterate. Where do we sort of top out? Garrick's White. So yeah, here, destroy all creatures you don't control. This one because there's two parts to it. And then if we do greater than 9, that's all we've got. So now I'm curious, seeing that it came up with destroy because it had there. Although that should be yeah, destroy all lands. If I did so, mass removal at sorcery, just see where the threshold is. Removal. I don't think. Yeah. Clearly, is that just not a thing? Yeah, it could be anything removal, couldn't it? Is that going to be I can't even spell exile now. I've got a C in it. Well, you know. There we go. Exile all. 35 cards that do that. And if instead we put this in CMC order, where's, oh, there we go, mana value. What do we top out at? Everything comes to dust. Now, of course, I haven't even gone down the stuff at instant speed. Both in terms of exiling all or destroy all. I mean, I expect to see less than we've seen with the sorcery speed stuff. I was trying to remember. Suddenly, I thought of the card "All Is Dust." Now, what did that do? That was a tribal sorcery. So that's that's something I didn't even think of. So, well, what's the phrasing? In for a penny, in for a pound. Sacrifice. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. That twist. Sorcery, okay. Back. Oh, sacrifice is all. Yeah, okay. So yeah, there's a number of cards where the sacrifice all gets done and then other things might happen as a result. Yeah, so interesting to see that, isn't it? Like, destroy all at the different, instant sorcery speed, exile all, and then Sacrifice all. Astral Slide. What do we got? Flicker creature. Yeah, so there's Lightning Rift, so there was a cycle of these. You can see these two have been reprinted, the other three weren't. So this one will flicker, this one bounce, +1/+1 counters, or +1/+1 counter damage. And what does Withering Hex do? -1/-1. Oh, plague counters. So you enchant a creature and you put a plague counter on it. That's curious. Okay. Yeah. Protects creature. Interesting. Cycling. Flicker creature. Slow flicker. So what do they classify as protect? Effects that can protect a creature with protection. Okay, so that's really anything that can do that. Either through offering it protection from a specific thing or bouncing it out of the way. Flickering it out of the way. What's a flicker slow then? Exert hard now, get it back later, usually at end of turn. Flickering creatures. Astral Drift. When did we start to see this? Parallax wave. What's the most recent thing? Ancestral Echo. This one. Cycling synergy side of it. I mean, that's going to be so based on, of course, when cycling first appeared, we've got stuff that reduces the cost, so yeah, fluctuator, which makes sense because as is Saga. And then we've got it in Onslaught. Obviously the cycle of cycle. The cycle of cycle synergy cards. Try saying that really fast. A couple from Legions. Amonkhet. Yeah, well obviously it's going to be a lot from Amonkhet. And Hour of Devastation. Number from there. Oh, clearly we've got Commander 2020. Must have a cycling deck artwork video to look forward to then. Oh yeah. A lot more of it in the later sets where it appears by the look of things. Lightning Rift, yeah, so same sort of thing. That's part of that cycle. Starstorm, again, It's interesting, isn't it, in this episode? We've had quite a number of cards and cycles that are cropping up in Commander. Sweep a creature burn. I mean, a thing. From way back. Something we have looked at before. We have 79 cards which have reference X somewhere. Although some of these might just have a with the word X in it. Maybe I'll do this. That's probably better. There we go. There's our Starstorm. Oh yeah, Silklash Spider. Lava Launch from Lara Reborn. Yes, clearly you can see a red thing, except with you get the green ones where there's some sort of additional condition, normally around flying, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, I remember Corrosive Gale because it had the Phyrexian mana. They didn't do a red Phyrexian one though, did they? I don't think. No. Gempalm Incinerator. Legions was in the Elves versus Goblins dual deck, and again in the Merfolk versus Goblin. Oh, cycle of Gempalms. Let's have a look. So all cycles of cyclers again, cycling. There we go. So this is one. All soldiers. Number of goblins. Lose 1 life for each zombie in play. That's target player. All wizards get flying. And the green one, all elves. +2/+2. Burn with set mechanic. Okay, I'm tempted to look at that. Tribal Goblin. Creature tribal. Let's look at burn with set mechanic. 240. What sort of things do you see? I am asking myself. Goblin Grenade. Saltari Gorillas. Oh yeah, okay, so Shadow here. Primitive Upkeep. There's, you know, of course here as well in the days before where a lot of stuff just wasn't keyworded, or there were slightly less keywords. So yeah, probably by going through the set you can sort of work out certain themes that were themes in the deck, but weren't necessarily keyworded at that point. I suppose as we go on, we're more likely to see things. It's easier to spot some threshold stuff. There's Glacial Ray, Lava Spike. Lightning Axe, Rift Bolt, yeah. Murderous Red Cap, Spike Bellows, Souls Flyer, honey. There's Lava Launch against, Burst Lightning, Bituminous Blast, yeah. Magna Rift. Stagger Shock. Big Smiles. Some of these. There's like, you know, these memorable red spells that have a yeah, set mechanic tie-in. Very good. Daru Sanctifier. Oh, has morph. Yes. Removal, destroy. Enchantment, destroy. So, yeah, I mean, if you... Obviously, we've looked at quite a lot of stuff historically, which does this, but interesting when you see it attached to a creature. In various ways. Lingrick Stomp Howler. Acidic Slime, Mold Chamberlain. Yeah, I think you knew why I was going down this rabbit hole. So, yeah. Oh yeah, Kasali Pride Mage as well. What I always like the green ones. Let's have a look. Mono green. Just seeing what's the sort of most recent one. Titan of Industry. 4 and 3 green, 7/7. Streets and Eucopenia. It's modal, you get to choose 2. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. 5 life, 4/4 green rhino creature. Put a shield counter on a creature you control. Nice. Ah, Jareth. Was in Commander 2015 and 2017. Also the anthology as a result of one of these decks. Turns up in Vintage Masters, turns up in Eternal Masters. It's a mana sink. So a cycle of Onslaught Pit Fighters, which includes Arcanus. I think Arcanus was also in another cycle as well. Sorry, 10th edition. 10th edition. These not too bad. Yeah. Nice little set there. As you know, some of the things I've done, that's one thing that always interests me, like creating these nice little collections. If you haven't got, a lot of money to spend on cards, on singles, like just choosing a little cycle that looks interesting and just buying that. You get some nice budget cycles, which look really nice in a binder. Exalted Angel. How was that in that From the Vault? Old Lifelink again, yeah, which we looked at on a previous week. So I suppose here, because I've looked at some of the other things here, and no doubt I suspect this also I may have looked at. So if I was to say that thing I sometimes use, what do you get for a CMC 6 creature which has flying? What exactly do you get? I think we're probably going to see what angels and dragons, something interesting in blue. 378 cards. Including an Abyssal Horror. Some of these could be very underpowered, potentially. Ooh. What? Momoti Jin. 6-drop, 5/6 with flying. Wow. Nightmare Scales on your swamps. Oh yeah, Tetravus. Pole Dragons. Oh, there's the first mono white, yeah. Oh, there was that cycle, wasn't there, of 6-drop dragons from Mirage. Ascendant Vikaza, 6-drop. Oh, and then you have these, the Invasion Cycle of Dragons. That's curious. So what have we got here? We got some 4 drops with flying. So 3 in white. Just looking at ones that are all from Onslaught. So 3 in white, a blue one. Is that 3 in black? Yeah, and then a red one. Nothing in green. Well, yeah. And if we look at, have there ever been any, there's Canopy Dragon. But like, yeah, 6 drop flyers in green. We're getting a bit niche. That are monocolored. How is Cloud Thrasher here? It's tended to happen later on. And if you go through, you know, Magic's history and look at, you know, green flying creatures, it's interesting, like what you see on the curve and when you see it historically. So there's killer bees, and some of these here will be about blocking with flying actually, so I suppose I should have netted off spiders, say, just to keep it down a bit. So what's the biggest green creature that flies? Oh, Earthquaker Dragon. 14 in the green for a 10/10. This spell costs X less to cast when X is the total mana value of dragons you control. Flying and trample. 2 in a green. Sacrifice a land. Return Earthquake Dragon from your graveyard to your hand. There is a legendary creature, dragon in green. 7 for a 7/7. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, create that many creature tokens. I mean, in Magic, and then if I just do this, yeah, plenty of stuff to do. Mono green flies. There's a very select few mono green dragons though. So. Oblation only ever appeared in Commander deck after being in Onslaught. You don't have target non-land permanent, shuffles it into his or her line when he draws 2 cards. Oh, that's a nice political card. So, what have we got? We have Condemn. Put it on the bottom of the library. We have Unexpectedly Absent, which interestingly is in this week's Commander deck I'm looking through. And we have Terminus. Put all creatures on the bottom of their owner's library. Well, that's something I didn't look at when I was looking at the, you know, all whatever, you know, all destroy all, exile all, sacrifice all. I forgot tuck all. Put all creatures at the bottom of their owner's library. We're going to have to look at that, I think. So. Removal non-land tuck. Well, we'd go down removal non-land tuck first. So 23 things that fall into that category. There we go. Oh, Vanishment, of course, these miracle cards, yeah. So it looks like usually a blue thing. It's happened, what, a few times there. Lost to Legends, Unexpectedly Absent, and Oblation, which is a card we're interested in. And then I've got to do this. So similar to Oblation. Okay, this is all creatures with a miracle on it as well. Sweep a creature tag. Okay, that's nice. So we do have a tag for that. So Ether Spouts, Terminus, Hallow Burial, and Collision of Realms. And yeah, it's a relatively, when would that first one? I think that's there, yeah. Hallow Burial, 3 and 2 white. Put all creatures on the bottom of their owner's libraries. Okay. Yeah, we're well into sideboard territory now. Okay, Disciple of Grace, Urza Saga, Onslaught. Oh yeah, of course, Disciple of Law and Disciple of Mallet. Oh dear. Disciple of Malice, sorry. Okay. 1, 2 for 2 with Pro from something. I mean, why not? CMC 2. Look. Power 1. Toughness of 2. And protection. Let's have a look and see if they're a little club. Oh look. Mainly disciples. We do have Goblin Pile Driver. And no doubt if I just remove this, yeah, we're going to see a lot more. Actually, that's because I've taken the power toughness out, I should really do this. That's better. 82. Free Wind Falcon. Oh, and was this the one that I always think is a cycle? Oh no, it is. There we go. Yeah. So these have come up before. So those 2 colour cycles from what's that? Invasion. Yeah. Awesome. Demystify. Yeah. We've had a look at this before. But yeah, it's Aura Blast, similar to, it's got card draw on it. Clear. It's got Cycling. Interesting. So that's single white. That one's 1 and a white. Oh, it's from Urza. It's okay. Erase. Exile. Target enchantment for a single white. Quiet Purity. Single white, destroy target enchantment. So it's yeah, same cost. And then things like Wear and Tear and Light of Hope, which is a modal spell. And yeah, there's a lot. Avarax. Okay. special sets then. Fire Breathing, Tutor Self. This is the one I was interested in. I do like self tutors. Because it always reminds me of a certain card, which you can probably guess. Scroll down, see if it's here. Squadron Hawk. Was it the Core Go deck? M11, was that? Yeah, first time it's printed. But interesting to see when that happened sort of earlier in Magic's history. You've got sort of Welkin Hawk, which, yeah, a bit more involved. Screaming Seahawk. Yeah, but a 1/1 flyer with tutoring. So is that an improved Welkin Hawk? It says it's similar. So that one's got an ETB on it. Welkin Hawk has enters the graveyard. You've got other things here. Legion Conquistador, Sky Shroud Sentinel. Oh yeah, Howling Wolf. Acadian Masks. And then finally, Akroma. So yeah, it's been in the Divine versus Demonic from the Vault Angels. It did crop up in Commander 2020, so yeah, we'll see this soon. And I get round to getting to the deck that it's in. Time Spiral, Time Shifted, Secret Lair Drop. Oh yeah, colour shifted Akroma, Angel of Fury, of course. And then we've got similar to Zeltalpa, Primal Dawn, 6 and 2 white, 4/8, flying, double strike, vengeance, trample, and indestructible. Okay, is that partial cycle from Time Spiral? Let me see, actually easier to see what's going on here. Oh yeah, the block, Plane of Chaos. It was a time shifted card in Time Spiral, and then it was also in Future Sight. Chroma's removal. Okay. Flying, First Strike, Vigilance. We want to do that. So, Oracle, Flying, Oracle, First Strike. And Vigilance. When did such combinations become a thing? Oh, on an unset. And yeah, I also did this because I never remember what this version of Odric's called, although I probably could have looked at Odric. But yeah, this stuff in combination with Odric. So at the beginning of each combat, creatures you control gain first strike until end of turn. If creature you control has first strike, the same is true for flying, death touch, double strike, haste, hexproof, indestructible, lifelink, menace, reach, skulk, trample, and vigilance. If you have a white deck with, you know, keyworded abilities on creatures, and lots of different ones, and they're on this list, and you haven't done already, yeah, give Odric a try out. It's very amusing and can be quite confusing to follow. But yeah. Odric definitely makes me smile. So yeah, good excuse to bring up Odric, or that version of Odric. So there we have it. I hope you enjoyed that. I did enjoy going through that. It was yeah, big smile. And all just starting off from this Astral Slide deck, which yeah, stuck around for a while, at least while Astral Slide was legal in Standard, in terms of the Standard tournament play. So thanks once again for watching. Bye for now, and I will catch you in a future episode.